Hello folks, I am your host Ali Raj and you are watching Gaslightman.
Hello everyone and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, let's go ahead and continue with our Amazon Web Services SageMaker demo part 2. And today we will learn how to write our first code and learn how to terminate our instance that we started in the previous lesson. Let me remind you that what we have done so far. In the previous lesson, I showed you guys an overview of the Amazon SageMaker. We just started with the AWS Management Console, and then here we explored the first labeling the piece within the Amazon SageMaker ground truth. If you guys recall, we learned that we can label multiple options. Here we can do image classification, bounding boxes. We can also do semantic segmentation on as well, and then afterwards we can able to write or create a trading job by clicking on the trading job here. We found that we have many algorithms available for us, such as actually boost the object detection, semantic segmentation, many options available for you. And you don't need to go and reinvent the wheel afterwards. I showed you guys the endpoint where we can go ahead and deploy the endpoint. Then afterwards we learn how to kickstart our first notebook instances. So we gave the notebook instances name and we specify the HTML type for the notebook instances. And then afterward we provided or create a new identity and access management role or IAM role. And then afterwards here we have been able to see our status is show as pending. Let's go ahead and I want to show guys what you are going to do with this specific notebook instance. So that's what we are going to do right now. So let's head back and to our AWS here. So let me go back. Okay, now you will see that my notebook right now is in service. I can go ahead and click and open Jupyter Notebook. It's going to open a Jupyter Notebook for me here. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with the Jupyter Notebook, you can simply do everything in one place. I can write code and I can also visualize images or figure. I can also write text and I can do all of that in one stop shop. And that's the power of Jupyter Notebook. So for example, what you guys see here is that you can go ahead and say I wanted to go and I create a new notebook for me. So if you guys go ahead and click on new, you will see that I have multiple options available for me. For example, you will see that there is an example PyTorch, there is a content TensorFlow, and there are the various machine learning frameworks. So PyTorch is the example of Facebook framework. TensorFlow is the Google framework. There is also available option here that if you wanted to write, let's say in our programming language, and you can also do conda as well, Python 3, and that's what we are going to use here. We are going to use Python, and so I wanted you guys to simply go ahead and click on conduct Python 3. That is going to create our first Jupyter Notebook here, and that's it. Here we go. What you guys could do is you can go ahead and simply write code here. For example, I can define, let's say, a variable, call it x, and I can put, let's say, number 4 in it. To run or execute this cell, I can simply press on the keyboard shift and enter at the same time. So if you press shift and enter at the same time, here we go. You will see that right now this cell has been executed or ran successfully. So simply write I put number 4 in a variable s. I can go ahead and say please could you show me what's an x. If I write x and I click right on shift and enter, you will see that right now I'm telling you well there is a number 4 in x. I can also define, let's say, any other variable. Why I can say x equal to, let's say, 6. And you press shift and enter, and then you can see what in y. So if you say y and then press shift enter, so basically here you will see that well there is a number 6 in a variable called y, and now I can go ahead and simply sum up or add up x plus y. So if I can say well x plus y and can put that maybe in any other variable, call it set. It's like a calculator. Basically, let's say that equal to x plus y and you run the 3 plus shift and x plus enter. Let's check out that equal right now. So I'm going to type that and shift enter. Here you go. You will see that right now I can define a variable called x and I put number 4 in it. I put a variable called y to find a variable called y, number 6 in it. Now I sum up or added x plus y. I ended up at number 10. So what you can also do is you can go ahead and let's say write my first notebook. That's simply a text. Let's go ahead and see that I have a multiple option code is here and the cell these are called cell. You can go ahead and simply grab that notebook and change it to a markdown. So when I say markdown, you simply shift enter. You will see that right now you can essentially embed that text in your notebook, which is really powerful. I have text data and I can write. I can also specify code cell that can you see the output coming out from that code cell. All that in one place, which is pretty incredible. And so for example, I can say that's my first code, for example, something like that. I'm going to call for an add. Now I have my first scope and you can go ahead and of course there are many options available for you here. Please note that this is just an introductory lecture to the Jupyter Notebook and Sagemaker in general. Please note that we can have a cover of tons of example leverage by leveraging Jupyter Notebook coming up over the next couple of days. You can go ahead to the kernel and then I wanted to let's say restart everything. So we can say restart and clear output. It's going to tell me, well, are you sure? I will say yes. You will see here right now everything is gone, so all the output are gone. What we have wanted to run everything, I can say kernel to start and run on. That's going to run everything for me again. I'm going to say, are you sure? Yes. So you are going to go ahead, execute everything one in one place in one run. That's what I'm getting here. And you can also here, you can go, for example, say I wanted to again convert the cell type. If you will between the code and markdown, I showed you guys that already. You can also go ahead here and save a file. You can go ahead and download essentially that Jupyter Notebook. So you can say essentially he will download as if you wanted to download this as a Jupyter Notebook. You can select that option here. That is going to save it here for you as my first code.python and that is going to be the extension for my Jupyter. Okay. One last thing I want to show you guys before we conclude this lesson. If you go back to our homepage here for the Jupyter, you will see that here we have the Sagemaker example. This is amazing because here you have tons of examples available for you here. And for example, if I would like to, let's say to check out, for example, breast cancer prediction, for example, you can go ahead and just say preview. And this is going to open a code available for you here. Again, to perform the breast cancer prediction, you don't need to go ahead and reinvent the wheel. Everything is the kind of developed for you. So you can go ahead and explore that notebook. You will see the sources for the data. You can see here as well the actual training job. So here we have the training job. I don't want you to be intimidated. So don't worry, I'm going to cover all of that in a great detail. Coming up next, I just wanted to you guys show you what out there and what's available for you. Okay, and then finally what I want you guys to do is please make sure to go ahead here. Once you are done, I wanted to please make sure to terminate the instances. So here I have the instance that running and this is simply this instance is charging you money as long as it's running in the background. Please note that if you are within the AWS feed here and this instance is free, but if I want you guys to show, make sure that when you are done you go to the action and then you say stop, and you will see that here this status here is showing you that it's stopping. Once it shows that is already stopped, I can go ahead and actually delete to all these different notebook instances and then you will good to go. Now you are done and you won't incurring any additional charges. Alright, so here we go. What you guys see here is now the status show that is stopped. Let's go ahead right now and say action and say delete. Are you sure you want to permanently delete the instances? Yes, please. It's going to here delete it for me. It shows you are deleting and then there you should be going here in a couple of seconds. Again, you need to refresh every once in a while because it takes some time for all these different actions to take place. but it actually after I delete that, then I'm good. I won't be incurring any additional charges. So here we go. Now the notebook instances has been deleted, and if you refresh here, you won't see any resources available here for you. And that's it. That's simply what I have for this lesson. I hope you guys enjoy it. In the next lesson, let me walk you through the Amazon Sagemaker marketplace here, and you guys, we can really like it. We can go through a really interesting and fun demo. Please stay tuned. Best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next lesson.
गेट साइटमेंट को लाइक करें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन को दबा दें ताकि इस जैसी अपडेट्स आपको मिलती रहें।